Hello everybody, this is HT Shaves here. I'm back with another video. Hope this finds you well. Weather here, we're kind of back to the sort of cold, springish weather here. It's about 45 and sunny today, which it's above freezing, so we're happy about that. For today, the main focus of the video is going to be the Karve Christopher Bradley stainless steel razor with a solid bar A plate, which is graciously on loan from Zen Shaves. I sent him some gem razors to try out a few weeks ago, and then he offered to send me this sort of mild razor to try out, and of course I was very happy to, because I've only tried the C and D plates from Karve in the past in aluminum and brass. I'll include a link to Zen Shaves' channel below. He has an interesting premise to his channel, and I believe he started it just as a means of documenting 100 straight razor shaves, and now he's well above 100 shaves with straight. And yeah, he's got some good kind of technique ideas on his channel, I guess. And yeah, so take a look if you're interested. For the soap today, we're continuing trying to finish this bell ringer. It's got a pretty decent what's it called? Circle of death in the middle down there. And for this week, I thought I'd bring out the Black Eagle HT2 28mm Badger brush, and I've already got it loaded up with the soap, and so we're just going to go right into a face lather. In my efforts to put more of a dent in the soap, I figured, well, why not break out the largest feeling brush I've ever used. So it's 28mm diameter, as I mentioned, but it's got a bit higher loft than something like from Declaration Grooming, and it's also just extremely dense, even more dense, I'd say, than the average Declaration knot. And so because of those two factors, it just creates for just a huge brush. Does that make the brush perform better? Does it make it, you know, more valuable in some way? No, but for some of you out there, maybe, you know, that kind of brush knot would be perfect for you. I know for me personally, most of the Declaration brushes, the backbone is a little bit too high, probably due to the loft. Scott's very consistent in how he sets the loft on most of his brushes. And so, anyway, this brush is nice because it's more lofty, if you will, but it also has, you know, it's not floppy either, certainly. And yeah, continuing to use the bell ringer, which is admittedly more well suited for summer than the Midwest spring we're in now, but I'm not getting tired of it yet. You know, I've still probably got a few weeks left in that tub of shaves, but yeah, it's amazing. Usually at this point, I'll start hating the scent, and you know, when I'm getting this close to finishing a soap, I'm just tired and ready to move on, but not yet, so that's good. I'm going to keep lathering this up, and then I'll bring you back in when I'm about to start my first pass with the Karve SBA plate. All right, we're all lathered up here, and we're going to start with the first pass here with the solid bar A plate. And let me first start by saying that, wow, this is the mildest razor I can recall maybe ever using. And I mean, it's kind of shockingly mild. I'm working with 2 days growth today, and you'll notice that I'm trying to do this skin stretching thing here, and that's because I picked up kind of an indirect tip from my friend SMS this week, and he said, if you're dealing with a really mild razor, consider, you know, stretching your skin more so that it, you know, lifts up the whiskers. And so you'll notice today that I'm really trying to stretch, and if any of my techniques look extremely uncomfortable, probably because they are. I've only done this a few days now, so cut me some slack, all right? It's a little hard to hear with what we've got going on in the background, but I can tell you, you're really not missing much blade cutting sound. It's very subtle in its sound, so thought I'd mention that. And I'm using a Polsilver Super Iridium blade on its maybe 5th use. This is a relatively sharp blade, and I can't imagine using something even more milder than, for a blade. Can't imagine using something milder. To talk about the head geometry here, it's got a negative blade exposure, meaning if you draw a line from the end of the top cap to the start of the base plate, the blade is in more than it is out, just slightly. And then on top of that, it has slightly has a mild gap of 0.60 millimeters. I feel like there are a few razors out there that have the 0.68 gap, like the Game Changer and Timeless has one, and that's considered pretty mild, so this is even milder than that. I think a good thing about this razor is that it is proportionally aggressive. It's not like it's super efficient, even though it feels really mild. It's definitely like what you feel is what you get kind of thing. Honestly, at the start of this week, I wasn't sure if I had the technique to really get an effective shave for this razor. First couple shaves were not really close by my standards. And so we'll see today if I have the technique. Certainly the skin stretching helped the past couple days. So I'm gonna rinse and then bring back in for pass number 2. Pass number 2. Lather has settled down a little bit, which is nice. All right, we're gonna go second pass mostly across the grain here. Admittedly, I haven't figured out a good way to stretch in this part. Maybe we'll just do the cheek thing, which I normally don't do. All right, second pass complete, and I'll rinse and then bring it back in for the third and final pass. Third pass. Okay, now we're going to do our final pass against the grain, mostly. Let me say a couple positive things about this razor, because, I mean, I haven't been overly negative, but I don't think I've been overly positive either so far. So this is the 3 1/4 inch handle, and yeah, I like it. I remember, and when I used to own my brass, when I had a 3-inch brass handle, and at the time that was too short for me. Maybe now, because I've used so many vintages and I've gotten used to their usually small handles, maybe it would be fine for me now. But anyway, because of the handle, it's 90 some odd grams when it's fully assembled, which for stainless steel, that's good for me. I don't, hundreds about as high as I'll usually go for a stainless razor, just too heavy for my preferences. Again, maybe because of the vintage thing, those razors are usually much lighter. So that's something. This retails for, I want to say it's 200 Canadian for one plate, you know, the full razor with one plate. I want to say it's 200 Canadian, which is like 150 US, which is a good price, in my opinion, for what you're getting. I mean, the machining and the finishing and all that on these razors is always very good. You know, with this razor, I can honestly probably do the whole lip going south to north. But I haven't practiced it this week, so let's not get crazy. So this is a mild razor, you know, as advertised. So if you really like a mild shave, I can recommend this. I think with a little practice, you know, if I use this thing straight for a couple weeks, I think I might really like it. We'll see how our end result is in terms of efficiency. Certainly have been getting better with this razor, but it's still probably too mild for me, you know? I've tried C and D, I've tried A now, so last one to do is B, and maybe B would be the Goldilocks just right level for me. So let's see. Yeah, still got a little scruff here under the neck, so let's maybe just add a little lather, and let's go with the grain again. Better. And I always have a little bit down here by the corner of my jaw. Not totally surprising, okay. And have a little bit less, but still some right here on the other side. I imagine it's always closer on this side because it's on the same side, whereas on this I'm going across, and so perhaps my technique isn't as good. Obviously a very comfortable shave, no nicks or anything like that. Face feels good from the soap. It's just the, efficiency of it. And also maybe the blade feel too. I would maybe like a little more blade feel because, as I say, there's not a lot of sound to help you with this, and not much blade feel either. So I'm gonna do my final rinse and then come back and talk to you over kind of a special aftershave, so stay tuned. For aftershave today, we're gonna be using a gift from Zen Shaves. Thank you, man, for gifting me this. This is the Nivea 2-phase aftershave lotion. As you can see, it's 2 colors, blue on the top, clear on the bottom. I'm guessing it's sort of oils are one, and then kind of the alcohol water is another, so that's why they don't combine naturally. But what you do, shake well to activate, you just shake it, and then it kind of comes together like that. I believe he told me he bought this while he was in London, and this is definitely something, I believe it's made in Germany. Yeah, it's made in Hamburg, it says, and it's sold in Europe. There have been some questions as to if it's still available. It definitely is, at least in some European countries. I don't know if it's ever been made available here in the US. So the idea here is that it's supposed to be like a splash and a lotion. So it's got alcohol, menthol, but it's also got glycerin and some other oils that honestly I can't totally tell you what they mean from the chemical ingredients. But yeah, it's really not a bad commercial splash option. The scent is kind of a cologne-y type scent. Some people say it smells like Skin Bracer a little bit. I haven't used Skin Bracer in a long time, so I can't tell you, to be honest. I don't remember quite what it smells like, but it's certainly not an offensive scent. And yeah, it's pretty mass appealing. So thank you very much for the gift, Zen Shaves. Appreciate that. Okay, let's do our final recap. So we used summer break soaps, Bell Ringer. We're well on our way to finishing this year, but we still got a few weeks to go. We used the Black Eagle HT2 28mm brush. This is the buffalo shape, as he calls it. And then finally, the star of the show, the Karve Christopher Bradley stainless steel 3 1/4 inch handle, solid bar A plate. Probably too mild for me, but if I had to use this, I bet I could figure it out, But in this hobby, is it really about can you figure it out, or is it about do you love it, And so I'm trying to keep that in mind as well. But anyway, thank you very much, Zen Shaves, again for the gift of the splash and for loaning me the Christopher Bradley. Okay, so that's going to do it for this week. Next week, I'm not quite sure what's on deck, to be honest, but we'll know when we get there. Maybe a new razor, another razor that's kind of sent out like this one. So we'll see when that happens. But for now, it's been HT Shaves. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Goodbye.